himself in researching Jairus, also known as Gals, which leads him to discover an online show featuring a fashionable girl who enjoys critiquing others, while her followers wholeheartedly support her in the chat. Upon Yui's return to school, she makes a grand entrance as her classmates warmly welcome her. Unbeknownst to them, Yui holds a different perception of her peers, seeing them as mere lowly maids and butlers. Keigo, accompanied by Junichi, Shinpei, and Minoru, engages in a conversation about the girl they came across in an online video the previous night. With a sense of pride, Keigo presents a picture of the girl he encountered. However, Shinpei, having seen her elsewhere before, expresses doubts about the authenticity of the image. Coincidentally, Yukana and her friends join the group, and Yui seizes the opportunity to initiate a conversation with Junichi. At a later time, at the cafe, Yui launches a relentless onslaught of criticism towards Yukana, leaving Junichi feeling uncertain about his stance in their relationship, considering they are now officially dating. Meanwhile, Shinpei tunes into an online stream showcasing Boa, the stylish girl renowned for her cutting remarks. Suddenly, a realization dawns upon him that the girl he previously encountered and Boa are actually the same person. Without wasting any time, Shinpei swiftly gathers evidence to substantiate his discovery. The following day, Shinpei discloses his revelation to Keigo and Minoru, providing evidence that Boa and Yui are, in fact, the same person. As they analyze Boa's distinctive viewpoints and compare images, the connection between Yui and Boa becomes evident. However, their discussion is interrupted by Ronko, who joins in on the conversation. Seizing the moment, Dewey uses this opportunity to invite Junichi to the rooftop. On the rooftop, Dewey confesses her feelings to Junichi and demands that he break up with Yukana. However, Junichi firmly rejects Yui's confession, which triggers her immediate outburst of dissatisfaction. Dewey even goes to the extent of threatening to disclose their cafe conversation to Yukana as a form of retaliation. However, just in the nick of time, Janice and his mischievous friends, along with Ronko, enter the scene. Ronko retaliates by threatening Yui, stating that she will reveal Yui's true identity as Boa to the entire class if she persists in blackmailing Junichi. Feeling defeated, Yui reluctantly hands over a memory card and departs in dismay. To Junichi's relief, Yukana emerges after the confrontation and is filled with joy upon realizing that he remains completely devoted to her. As the episode comes to an end, we catch a glimpse of Yui, determined to seek revenge, walking away. Meanwhile, at the salon, a curvaceous woman expresses her delight with her stunning makeover, reminding us that beauty knows no limits. Junichi has a dream about Yukana before abruptly waking up to find Nin, a pink-haired lady, resting on his chest. Danny expresses her aspiration to emulate a gal and clings to Junichi as they make their way to school, causing envy among his friends. At the shoe lockers, Yui approaches Junichi, seeking to reconcile and make amends. However, Nin interrupts the conversation and harshly criticizes Yui, mocking her appearance. During the lunch break, Junichi enjoys his meal with Yukana, while Ronko keeps a watchful eye. Annie joins their group, and Junichi can hardly recognize her, amazed by her transformation. Meanwhile, Banning competes with Ronko and Yukana for attention. Later that night, after watching Yui's online show, Junichi attempts to sleep but gets interrupted by Nin. However, Junichi remains faithful to Yukana and politely asks Nin to leave. Determined to win Junichi's affection someday, Yui leaves with a resolute mindset. The following day, Genesee appears visibly concerned about Nin, and Yukana approaches him with genuine worry. Despite Danny's interference, Yukana remains unfazed and smiles at both of them. The romantic entanglements continue to unravel, leaving us intrigued about the future of our characters. Shinpei and his friends engage in a conversation about Junichi's relationship progress, brainstorming ways to add excitement by suggesting a game of king. Akana initially invites Junichi to her house, but he proposes inviting Ronko, Nin, and his friends, much to Yukana's disappointment. While Junichi fantasizes about being with Yukana, Yui unexpectedly joins them and is also invited to Yukana's house. Once there, Yui asks Junichi to accompany her to her room, but their private moment is abruptly interrupted by the arrival of Ronko, Nin, and Yui. To add to the chaos, Junichi's friends also show up in eccentric outfits. Shinpei leads the king game, and everyone has a great time. However, both Shinpei and Junichi plot to secure a kiss from Yukana during the game. When the kissing round arrives, it turns out that all the boys are chosen, exposing Junichi's plan to spare the girls from kissing any of the guys. This leads to an embarrassing turn of events for everyone. Despite the uncomfortable situation, Yukana extends an invitation to everyone to join her for a summer vacation. However, there is one obstacle. Everyone faces the challenge of not having enough money to make the trip possible. With a strong desire to turn their summer vacation into a reality, the group reaches a unanimous decision to take on part-time jobs. They embark on their individual job-seeking journeys, determined to save up for their anticipated getaway. Shinpei and Junichi have a conversation about job prospects they discovered on the internet while getting ready for their approaching summer vacation. Junichi makes the decision to apply for a position as a kitchen staff member at a cafe that has a cosplay theme. To their surprise, Yukana, Ranko, Yui, and Nin also find themselves working as waitresses in cosplay outfits at the same cafe. As the days pass and they carry on with their part-time jobs, they start to notice something dubious happening within the cafe's premises. The supervisor unveils a cunning scheme to organize an event that raises suspicions among the group. To their astonishment, the supervisor hands them seemingly ordinary books, which pique their curiosity. After realizing the inappropriate content in the books, Janeshi and Yukana become suspicious of the upcoming event. Janeshi confronts the supervisor, but they ignore his concerns. Yui takes matters into her own hands and warns the cafe owner about the supervisor's actions. Thanks to Yui's intervention, the event is eventually cancelled, and the group receives their well-deserved pay. In a post-credits scene, the eagerly anticipated summer vacation finally arrives, and the group joyfully gathers at their designated meeting spot. As Janishi, Yukana, and their friends arrive at the long-awaited beach, the girls have a great time in the water. However, Shinpei and his friends, rather than joining in the fun, seem to be more focused on gawking at other women in swimsuits. In the evening, while the girls enjoy a relaxing time in the hot springs, Shinpei persists in his questionable plan of attempting to sneak a peek at them. As the boys head towards the hot springs, Genisai tries to foil Shinpei's scheme. However, Shinpei accuses Genisai of being a traitor, leading to a heated argument between the two in the forest. During the argument, Junichi accidentally falls off a cliff. Meanwhile, Shinpei and Keigo continue their journey but face numerous traps that impede their progress. In a stroke of luck, they unintentionally activate a switch that triggers a breathtaking fireworks show, much to the joy and excitement of the girls who observe it. The girls have fun on the beach, bonding and playing with string fireworks. Meanwhile, Yukana and Junichi share a tender moment, enjoying each other's company. Yui, Ranko, and Nana can't help but feel envious of the strong bond between Yukana and Junichi. Later, when they return to the city, they come across a guy who appears familiar to Yukana. It turns out to be Daimari, Yukana's old friend from middle school. This encounter makes Junichi feel insecure, worrying that Yukana might be more interested in Daimari due to his appearance. This leads to a disagreement between them, and Yukana angrily walks away, leaving Janeshi feeling even worse. Despite Janeshi's attempts to talk to her at school, he fails to reconcile with her. In an effort to lift Janeshi's spirits, his friends take him to karaoke, which initially succeeds in cheering him up. However, things take a turn for the worse when they spot Yukana having a conversation with Dai. On another day, Junichi and Yukana have a conversation, but he abruptly runs away, leaving her heartbroken. Yui confronts Junichi, expressing her anger at his selfish and narrow-minded behavior. Nani also shares similar feelings of disappointment. Meanwhile, Yukana meets with her friends, but before she can say anything, she breaks down in tears. This angers Ranko, who storms off to find Junichi at a restaurant. Ranko eventually locates Junichi and his friends, but to their surprise, Dai and his gang also show up. They overhear Dai and his gang discussing their plans involving Yukana. With a strong determination to protect her, Ranko confronts Dai and his gang, and Junichi steps in to support her. Junichi and Dai engage in a confrontation, and they move outside to resolve their differences. At first, Dai gains the upper hand in the fight, but Junichi resorts to biting Dai's leg. Eventually, Dai promises to stop bothering Yukana, and Junichi releases his grip. However, without hesitation, Dai immediately starts repeatedly kicking Junichi. Ranko steps in with the support of Janeshi's friends, urging Junichi to find Yukana and reconcile with her. Meanwhile, Yukana is at a cafe with Nani and Yui, but she ignores Junichi's frantic phone calls. Nani and Yui advise Yukana to meet Junichi and address their feelings. After Yukana leaves the cafe, Yui and Nin ponder whether it is appropriate for them to assist their rival. Meanwhile, Junichi anxiously waits for Yukana, and they finally meet behind the school. They reconcile, and Janeshi recreates his original confession. In light of their romantic reunion, Yukana suggests they spend the day at an amusement park. At the park, they visit a photo booth and capture a picture of their time together. Junichi tries to add a touch of romance to their date by attempting to kiss Yukana. As the day draws to a close, Yukana confesses her desire to return to the amusement park with him in the following year and every year thereafter. Unexpectedly, she kisses Junichi before bidding him farewell and heading home, leaving him in a state of shock. And that brings the video to an end. If you enjoyed watching it, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. also turn on notification bell so you'll never miss out new video. See you next time, take care.